Alrighty, hey everybody, Dirk here. Welcome once again to the dungeon laboratory. So, probably the last video for today, because I've been working on this last couple days. Just wanted to kind of play with the testicle for a bit, you know. It's kind of nice to just turn it on and let it run. It doesn't work perfectly, but it's still pretty fun. So, what you see before you is a couple of somewhat crappy drum pads that I kind of put together, but they still work. This is all kind of a test setup. I basically built some drum triggers over here with a couple of quad op amps. It actually works really, really well. I think the response on this side is a little bit better than this one. I used a newer piezo element on this side, and this is a something ripped out of something else, or it could be the circuit itself. Maybe the trigger input's not sensitive enough. I don't know. Anyway, though, so yeah, we're using a quad op amp here. This is for music from outer space. This is kind of hard to see unless you're really looking on the website. There is a bit of this floating about online. It's fairly simple. So piezo element coming into this first MOSFET's on the line. This first op amp right here. The voltage is there, but it doesn't have enough current, really. So this kind of helps that out. Gives a little bit more current. So then you have one trigger for control voltages that are right here. So it's it's going to be basically like a shark fin. So going up and then have a slow downfall. That has to do with the resistor and capacitor that's right here for a decay, basically. So as the signal is draining off, that has to do with the capacitor here. These are values that you can probably play with for the amount of decay that you want. And then there's another diode. There's three diodes in here. So first diode, the second diode goes down here. And this is basically your trigger signal that's right here. And then obviously coming out, there's another diode here. A couple 1Ks on the outputs. You got your two control voltages, and then one for the trigger out. I'm not quite sure what the voltage is coming out of these. It could be plus minus 5 volts. I'm not 100% sure. I have to look at the website again. But yeah, it's the same story here as in here. Resistor, capacitor, coupling over here. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, I might put the information from the website because they can explain it a lot better than I can. Yeah, I'm terrible at explaining how things exactly work, and I know I just run my mouth a lot anyway. So, meh. Anyway, I wanted to do this because I like drums. I'm not a drummer. I can kind of play drums a little bit. I did have an electronic drum set back in America, and it was really, really fun to play with. So I figured I'd build this. This is really, really dead simple. I was going to build an additional one, but there seemed to be a problem with the control voltage. The trigger worked fine. Couldn't figure out the problem, so I'll have to redo that circuit and put it in there. So you'll have three drum triggers for a basic drum set. So, bass, snare, and hi-hat or cymbal. Yeah, I don't have one of those circuits yet. Yeah. So this is kind of like a snare drum. I'm using the sine wave that's over here for a snare. It's not a very good snare, but it works. And then up here, forget what this is, but it's a really awesome bass type deal. For a bass drum. It's pretty cool. I'll put you guys down here. You guys can see that well enough. I'm pretty sure you guys can. We'll have a look. Yeah. And there was quite a bit of ideas floating about for actual drum pads. This is all kind of just on the fly. I got everything just hooked up. So basically just some board. I got some thin wood here, some wood, it's not particle board. It's fairly thin and light. and I basically used like these. What are they? They're like their furniture feet, basically. A lot of this, some of the suggestions were to use mouse pads, and that worked pretty well. So I had this material. These are like furniture movers, that are put into furniture. I use them for a lot of projects. And there was a really big sheet in here, so I had enough to make 2 of these, which is pretty ideal to use. And then the problem was that this was really sensitive, so I just used a couple of pieces of rubber. I don't think I have any more. No, they're just like rubber O-rings, really big ones, like this, and I just put them down here underneath, and just some C-clamps just to kind of hold everything in place. But it works fairly well. And yeah, that's really it. There's drum triggers. You could muck about with the circuit a little bit more to get more or less decay, or longer or shorter trigger pulses, but it works pretty well, I think. Yeah, we'll just turn it on. So get your bass. It's not the best snare drum. I'll have to see if I can find some other circuits, or maybe like some tom-toms or something like that, or hi-hats. Yeah, as I said, I'm not the best drummer. I'm actually a really terrible drummer. I don't know. Yeah, because the problem with me is I have a really hard time with like really good coordination, like constantly keeping a rhythm, and hand and feet. I can't. It's really hard for me to play a snare drum and the bass, and then you have your your hi-hat on the side or whatnot. And it was really hard for me to do that. But it's not too this isn't too bad. It's really hard for me to like not try to do like a semi drum roll. Oops. We can. Yeah, you gotta really like hit this one. Yeah, this one's really, really, really sensitive. I don't know. I'm just messing around, but you guys get the gist of it. You guys get the idea of what it is. So yeah. Yeah, as I said, I'll put the link on the from the website on the video here, and you can have a way at it if you want to do something like that. It's really easy, and it's a lot of fun. Just making the drum pads is a little harder. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye!